So my coworker Michael Scotto dropped one of our new episodes of the HoopsHype podcast. Link in the description. He had SNY's Ian Begley and Stefan Bondy, and they talked Bojan Bogdanovic's future. So basically, they talked that the Knicks, are expected to guarantee the salary for Bojan Bogdanovic this upcoming season, making him a trade candidate in the final year of his contract. This strategy aligns with the Knicks' plan to use his salary in a trade for a star player, given their flexibility with draft picks and contracts. Stefan Bondy agrees that guaranteeing Bojan Bogdanovic's salary makes sense for a potential trade. He emphasizes the Knicks need to match salaries in a trade for a star player, as they don't really have as many trades to aggregate. Ian Begley supports keeping Bojan Bogdanovic, which was kind of different than what Scott and Bondy were saying, but he highlights that he was having a good performance, which I really don't think so, before getting hurt. He says guaranteeing his salary is just a strategic move for future trades, especially since, like I just mentioned, the Knicks lack other mid-range salaries for trade packages. So that's where I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What is the expectations with Bojan Bogdanovic? Would you guys keep him? Would you not? I think, like I've always said, he's, the old wife tale of a player who's has really good stats on a bad team, but then when they go to a championship aspiration team, it changes a little bit. But I don't know. I just think it's also not a huge salary. I personally believe that they got him really cheap. It didn't work. Now you got to figure it out. I don't know. This is definitely something I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Maybe it's just me who thinks like this, but I don't know. All right, I don't know where that crashed, but basically Bojan Bogdanovic went from being with the Pistons, a 20-point per game score in the regular season on decent efficiency, to with the Knicks being in 19 minutes a night, 10 points a game, 43% from the field, 37%. Didn't really fit their defensive philosophy. And then in the postseason, out of necessity, they played him 4 games, 13 minutes a night, 29% from the field, 40% from three. Primarily only took 3-pointers, 6 points a game. And he was kind of playing power forward for them, out of position, again, out of necessity. So with them potentially keeping him, I just think real quickly, as we said earlier, he would be used for a trade chip. I just sit here and I'm like, what trade though? What trade is going to come? If they, let's say Deuce McBride is off limits and the only guy they're going to use is Jericho Sims, or maybe a Mitchell Robinson if they can get a big man back, I can't see a trade out there. So that's basically 21 to like $33 million that they would be able to spend. And I look around the league and I find it a bit head scratching. It's not like they're going to call up the Miami Heat and be like, well, send us Duncan Robinson and Thomas Bryant and Caleb Martin for Bojan Bogdanovic and Mitchell Robinson and a first round pick. Like, that's not a good deal. So the idea is maybe, and if they had a big man, it would be worth it. But the idea, in my opinion, if you could find either in the draft or in free agency, if you bring in some veteran bigs like Mason Plumlee, Daniel Tice, Andre Drummond, whoever you want, put that name in, maybe 2 of those guys, and you bring back Isaiah Hartenstein, and maybe you do bring back Precious Achiuwa. You package Mitchell Robinson and Bojan Bogdanovic for Harrison Barnes and Mr. Kevin Huerter, and I think you'd have to throw in Daquan Jeffries if you need, but that's really not a bad deal right there. I think another option, if you could somehow get a guy like Isaiah Stewart, and they want a, but again, the idea is a star player. I just don't see a star player of that magnitude becoming available. It's, again, I don't think the guys that are in their price range, DeAndre Ayton, I would love them for to go out and get Jeremy Grant. I think Jeremy Grant would be great. You could just do Bojan Bogdanovic, Mitchell Robinson, and Daquan Jeffries, I believe it would be. And you would, right there, if we just do those 3 dudes, Mitchell 14.3. Then you have Mr. Bojan, which is 19. That gets you to 33.3. And you throw in Daquan, which is 33. That's about 35.7. So, and you technically 35.7. And is Mamadi Diakite technically still on the roster? And if he is, yeah, he is. So, and he has a contract for next year. So 35.7. You throw in, damn, they can get to $38 million. And I think they did this on purpose, which is genius. So for $38 million now, they can get up to, which is absolutely incredible that they were able to do that. Darius Garland becomes available. Brandon Ingram. Those are trades that you really could do, and it's wild that they're able to do that now. Desmond Bane, DeAndre Ayton, Jeremy Grant, and this was the whole one we wanted to finish up on. Andrew Wiggins, RJ Barrett. All right, all those guys are within their price range, but let's say they do call up Portland. They're like, hey, we want Jeremy Grant, but we just don't just want Jeremy Grant. We want Jeremy Grant plus, hypothetically, would they be able to do Jeremy Grant with Robert Williams? I feel like they could. They could. I think they might have to. I just want to see. They might be able to get Robert Williams. If they could do Jeremy Grant and Robert Williams, I think that's the best deal possible. And people are going to be like, well, Robert Williams is injury prone. I don't care. I don't care. That's an insane deal if they can walk away with that. And I think Portland would do that, because it really wouldn't cost Portland anything to do it. So why wouldn't you? Now I'm just so curious to see how that would work. That's incredible if that can go down, because you're getting insane value. I'm just making sure it can happen, because we just need to make sure that Portland has the Knicks have the money to do that. Okay, so like I said, Daquan Jeffries. From my calculations, it should be possible, because all you'd have to do is Bojan, Daquan, Diakite, and then you throw on Mitchell. Now you do. I think this is technically possible. And they're saying the Knicks are, yeah, the deal works. If I trade Bojan Bogdanovic, Mitchell Robinson, Daquan Jeffries, and Mamadi Diakite, 2 picks for Jeremy Grant and Robert Williams. They're saying this deal makes the Knicks worse, but I personally think this makes the Knicks better. You get Robert Williams, who's on a cheaper deal than Mitchell Robinson, same length, and he's a better player. You get Jeremy Grant, and all you probably have to give up is 1 or 2 picks. That's really not that bad of a deal.